Welcome back to the business story before the tool. As we all know that in a business world, the first thing in a business world is for you to know what the business is all about. You can't just venture into a business without knowing what it entails. And I know it would be very foolish of someone to just invest in something that he have no knowledge or very little knowledge about. So we have to understand the business first. Afterward, we can now apply the tool, because the tool is basically an helper to the business, as in to the knowledge itself. So today we'll be walking you through the business knowledge, having the business knowledge. As we can see in our first session, we said we are analyzing an RFM data, right? RFM analysis. What is it all about? We talked about recency, frequency, and monitoring. How does that affect business? How will that raise some key metrics that we need in this our business? As a data analyst, or as a data analyst to be, I usually tell all my students, the first thing whenever you have a challenge or you have a problem is for you to understand the basic flow of the business, have the basic knowledge of what the business entails. As you can see, this particular work we are doing, we are analyzing a business data set, particularly e-commerce data sets. As we can see from the brief, they said, welcome, new analytics lead. Assuming you just resume a post, you are the lead for the Google merchandise store analytics lead, and you are being confronted by your boss or the CEO or your boss anyway, that want to know those customers that are really paying for our services, or that they are really buying our products. I want to know those customers that are not that buying the product, so that we can know how to pitch to them through promotion, adverts, promos, and the likes. You are being confronted with this question itself. How will you start analyzing it? The first thing, never make that mistake of you going to the tools directly. Tools here, I mean going to Excel, going to MySQL, going to Python, Power BI, to just start pulling out the data from the database, and hence on starting analyzing the data, cleaning the data. That's not the best way of being an analyst. An analyst must have a workflow. What do I mean by workflow? That is a framework in which you work with. The framework I will employ us to adapt to henceforth whenever we want to start any data analysis work or any data analysis job. I gained this framework from Ed First's data analysis, as in the book. The framework goes like this: DED. Even though we have many, but I'm very, I usually use this. This is the one that I usually stick to whenever I'm having a gig or I'm analyzing a data. The first D here stands for define, definition of the business problem itself. The second D here stands for disassemble. Disassemble. The third D, the E over here stands for evaluate, while the last D here stands for decide. Going with this first D over here, define. You define the problem statement. Please, can we unmute our mic? What's the problem statement in this particular task? Can any one of us just give us the problem statement we are tackling here?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, my name is Toby.
All right, good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. So the problem statement here is the executive notice an hike, like an increase in sales. So they want to understand what led to the high increase in sales, which what we'll be dealing with most especially is trying to understand the customer behavior and the likes. Thank you, sir.
All right. Definitely, that's what the problem is all about. The business is seeing that there are some rise in sales from who are behind this hike or behind this spike. Who are those people behind it? We want to know. The business want to know, as in wish to know. You as the data analyst lead, that's the business problem itself. Sometimes you might not be clear about the business problem itself or the problem statement itself. For you to define this effectively, you have to carry along the as in the stakeholders in your in your environment or in your department to help you to define the problem statement itself. Because sometimes the problem itself might not be well defined. They might be thinking that A is the cause of the of the problem, whereas D or E is the basic cause of the problem itself. So here you, as a data analyst, you must be a good communicator. You must be a good communicator in order for you to express what you need. Communicator in the sense that you must ask the good question. Take, for instance, your boss is not that clear about what he's talking about. As an analyst, your job only is not just basically using Excel, MySQL, and as in Power BI likes all those tools like that. You ask good questions that will help you in divining the business problem itself. You don't just say, okay, you ask to as in find why this is happening, then you just meet the DE guys, I mean the data engineering guys. You need so data, they give you, then you start analyzing. No, things are not done that way. So that analytical mindset, the first thing that you have to do is to define the problem. That what am I solving? What is my destination? Just imagine you are just roaming about without any bearing. It won't be good of you. You have to have your destination, where you're heading to, and that is the business problem itself. That is, you define the goal. In this basic problem, what you are looking inward to is that who are those customers that are paying for our product most, so that we can know how to retain them. You can't afford to lose to your customer. It won't be good of you because you acquire them with, as in, let me say, your hard-earned money. Acquiring customer is not easy. In the problem statement, later on, we'll be talking about CAC, although they do call it CAC in the business world, CAC. That is customer acquisition cost. That's the amount in which you invest for you to secure a customer. Let's take, for instance, I think most of us were in Nigeria here. There was a time Temu, as in, I mean Temu, they roll out some campaign here and there, discount and everything like that. They acquire some of their customer through promotion, advert, ad. That's whenever you just go to maybe YouTube or you go to your Google, you're searching for something, you'll be seeing their purpose here and there. It's not for free. As in, that advert is not for free. They are doing it, they're investing it in return for something. So for them to invest in you, to acquire you as their customer, they won't just take it lightly with you to just lose you like that, because they invested in you and they expect something in return. So moving ahead from this, after defining your problem, knowing what you are solving it as in yourself, then you go towards disassemble. What does that mean? If they say disassemble, that is to pieces something right into smaller particles or into smaller chunks. The problem statement, it's a O. As a O, you have to break it down. Okay, well, looking towards the reason why we're having some spike in our sales. Okay, what can cause it? There, as a data analyst, you make some hypotheses. Hypotheses are just some random guessing that I think maybe it might be all those kind of questions. You have to note it down. You have to have yours in your pad or your writing jotter that you'll be jotting all those hypotheses to. Okay, maybe the reason why there's spike in sales is because of seasonal effects. Let's say we're in all this as in ceremonial period, all this festive period. Maybe that's the reason. It's a maybe question. It's an hypothesis. You can also guess that, okay, maybe there might be some, let's say, shifts in the economic as in shape. Maybe there's some boost in the GDP and the likes. Maybe that's influence it. Who knows? So you make your hypothesis. After making each hypothesis, you test for it. And that's where this evaluate comes in. Seasonal effect that affected the sales and the likes. Check for it. And here, this is where the tools now come is it correct or not? Is it right or not? These tools are there for it to for them as they are there for you to prove you whether you are wrong or you are right on your hypothesis. And as we all know, this requires some basic knowledge of, let's say, statistic and the likes. Okay, maybe the Z score is this, the T statistic is this, blah, 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 and the likes. So after you verifying the hypothesis, there you have your null hypothesis and you have your, as in the major hypothesis that you'll be postulating for, the one that you will reject and the one that you fail to reject. After doing all those stuffs, then you decide. Your decision now, after passing through all these stages, will be data-driven decision. It won't just be any random guess because you've done your homework. You've divined the problem, you've disassembled it, you've evaluated it before concluding, before arriving at this stage. But many of us, we start from this particular stage, this E and D over here. As you have your data set, the first thing you start cleaning, then you start plotting some graph and the likes, whether it's useful or not. So under this evaluation of a thing, there's another thing in there. We call it KPIs. KPI are those your key performance indicator or key performance metrics that the business needs. Going back to this first thing I said earlier on, knowing the business knowledge, this will enhance you knowing the real KPI. Imagine somebody that is working in oil and gas sector. The KPI over there will be quite different from somebody that is working in fintech or somebody that is working in agri-tech or edu-tech or any other niches or any other industry. You can't be saying somebody that's working in the energy sector, what they will be seeing as gain over there is same thing as that person that is working in e-commerce. It will be quite different. So every business has their KPIs, their performance metric. And mind you, those performance metrics are very vital to the CEOs or to your boss, that they can die for it because that's their life, the lifeline of their business. So these KPIs, whenever you are given a task, have basic knowledge of what the business entails. E-commerce, okay, it's a form of what digital marketing, right? Okay, and what does it entails? Buying and selling of goods or services online, right? Okay, then know some jargons. I mean some lingos. I mean that they do V and CAC that I made mention of the other time. Their ROI, their conversion rates, and the likes, like all this AOV, average order value, and the likes. So you have to do some of basic assignments. So have any one of us heard about dashboard dump? Just a dumping ground for dashboards. That is useless dashboard to say. Why are they useless? It's because they are not contributing any increments to the what's to the to the business. Who cares about your analysis? Nobody. So far as it's not contributing to the what the business goals itself. And what are those business goals? There are all these KPIs, key performance metrics, and key performance as an indicators that shows that okay, we are moving where we're on the right track for the business. I take for instance, he said, I did some hypothesis analysis on this RFM. I did this. I plotted an histogram graph, and it was as in there. I saw some correlation and regression, blah blah blah. All those jargons, CEOs did not know it, and they are not care to know it, just because that's the reason why you are employed in the first place as a data analyst. So as a data analyst, you must be cognizant of the KPIs that is related to what you are working with, the business you are working with. So coming back to our analysis for today, we are working with an e-commerce business. Some of the KPIs, as we said earlier on, like CAC, CLV, ROI, and the likes like that, they are very paramount to this. When you scroll down, part of the question over here, it's talk about what would be the effect of 5% increments in this or something like that here. Why if 5% shifts matter to the CEO? Those are those questions, very critical questions that you have to ask before even delving into the data set. DDED is very paramount. Take note of that. That's the framework I do use. Although there are many frameworks that you can use, that people use to analyze as in whenever they have any data job, the way they pass through it. But this is the one that I do use and I stick to. So, and I will encourage us to stick to it or any other one that interests us. So coming back to and that's what constitutes to the first task of the that we were given, business acumen. Know what really matters in your business. So coming back to this evaluation of a thing, under the evaluation, there you will know the type of data set that you request for, the data sets that you request for, okay, whether you be needing the transaction data set or the user data set or these data sets, blah, 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 like that. That's we as in that will determine the type of data set you use. And we looking at this brief, can somebody just tell me the type of data set that you'll be needing for this analysis, for this RFM analysis? We can simply omit ourselves. Let's make it interactive so that it won't just be only me talking to myself. Anyone over there?
I think it will be sales data set.
You said something?
Sales data sets.
Sales data sets. Okay. Is there anybody as in having another contrary opinion? Somebody says sales data sets. All right. We'll be needing this for the analysis. Another opinion? Any contrary opinion?
No contrary opinion for now. I think it's
sales
data sets.
Sales data sets.
And possibly other data sets like that's possibly related to the sales. That is maybe the frequency. That is the amounts that they spend.
I think that should be one of the columns in the data sets.
Okay, just like a feature, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
It should be contained in the data set in the cell.
Yeah, everybody, we're on the right track. We are just using different English. Whether you say sales data sets, yeah, sales data sets will be needed here. However, in this particular analysis, they call their table, or they call the data set transaction data set. That is transaction, buying and selling, transaction data set.
Okay.
You know, after you've done your assignments of D and this first D and this second D, that's answer to this hypothesis that I'm postulating. Maybe you have like 3 hypotheses that you are testing for. That's okay. This first one, if it works, I will need the data sets. This particular other hypothesis that I make, hypothesis 2, I think this particular data set will serve that. You understood? So that's how it goes. We're using transaction data set here. And mind you, the data set we are using here, it's a real data set from Google Merchandise Store. I pulled the data sets using Google Cloud using BigQuery. I know some of us here that are conversant with all this as in cloud platform of a thing. It's a public data set on BigQuery, so I pulled the data set from there. Why did I know that? Okay, this is the type of data sets I needed to pull out of this. It's just because I understood the type of analysis I'm going into, that is RFM analysis. Because when you look at that, you can search for Google Analytics data sets on BigQuery. You find the data set there. In there are about 2 data sets, as in 2 data in it. We have the session data sets, the session itself, and what it's being meant by session, that is the period in which each it's an e-commerce, that is you're interacting with an online-based business. The session in which you spend on their platform, on the landing page, on the maybe signing up, or on the add to carts and the likes. So the session is there. I know that for an RFM analysis, this is useless. We won't need it at all. Except, not totally useless, except you want to relate, let's say, transaction with let's say, want to perform some A/B testing, maybe regarding the interface, the UI UX of the e-commerce platform. So we can decide that, okay, how many minutes or what's the hour, the rate in which our clients or our customers spend on each page. When a UX is very bad or very worse or sucks, you won't stay long there. You just scroll through it, depending on the type of analysis that you are trying to look at. But here, without wasting much of time, we are looking inward to RFM, recency, that is when last does the customer visits come to our website, frequency, how often did they visit our website, monetary, how much did they pay whenever they came, whenever they come to our websites. So that's what we'll be looking inward to. So enough of that. Let's go to the next parts. So the first part here said choose three key core level KPIs that will be relevant to this analysis. Whether it's CLV, what's the effect of CLV on this analysis? What's the CS as an effect of CAC on this analysis? And what's the effect of AOV on this analysis. When we're talking about AOV, I mean that's the average order value. That is the average money a customer spend whenever they come to our website. Are we on the same page, please? That's the average money that a customer spend whenever they come to our website. This is average order value. That is, it's given as the total revenue, as in that's the formula, the total revenue over formula that relates the average order value. That is the amount you spend whenever you visit, let's say Jumia, or you visit Alibaba, or you visit Amazon. What was the amount? Average amount of goods that you are buying from there, or average amount of the products you are procuring or you are buying from them. That's what this AOV means, and it's very important. How will this RFM analysis affect? How will RFM affect AOV? Please, can somebody give us answer to that?
The AOV,
yeah, you're audible.
It's important for the RFM because it separates the customer segments into high purchasing customers, medium purchasing customer, or low purchasing customers, so that at the end of the day, you're able to allocate your resources and to other high purchasing customers, so that at least there will be the acquisition cost to be reduced. You know, you are focused on customers that will give you more revenue.
Yeah, which will sustain your business. That's the lifeline of your business. That's good enough. So let's move ahead with this other KPI also over here. Another KPI is CLV. That is the customer lifetime value. That's the total amount. That is the total revenue that a business expects to earn from a customer in their entire life. The amount that a business suggested that, okay, Mr. A, our business and his lifetime, we expected like about, let's say, $40,000 from him or she, thereabouts, who knows, depending on who Mr. A is. So that's customer lifetime value. The value that's the total revenue value that is being attributed or that being ascribed to a customer throughout the entirety of the business. How will RFM analysis also affect this? How RFM can increase CLV? Okay, let me see that. Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now. But previously, we're not hearing
all right. But now I'm audible, right?
Yes, you are very audible now.
Thank you so much. So you can't afford to lose, that your customer, because you've spent on them, you've invested on them. So you expect something in return. So CLV also, a good RFM analysis will also increase CLV indirectly. Likewise, another metric over here that we stated, CAC. Whenever you are doing your RFM analysis, you want to reduce your CAC as low as possible, because this is what customer acquisition cost. You won't want to be acquiring customer at, let's say, just for instance, $10. You use $10 to acquire a customer, and in return, the customer later buys something of $5 and left and ran away. That's a loss from your side, because your investment is not what you are seeing in return. You are not getting it in return. So you won't do that. You will find a means of lowering this CAC as low as possible and increasing other metrics like AOV, CLV, and the likes. Is that clear? Why a 5% shift matter to the CEO bottom line? That is 5% in maybe CLV, CAC, AOV. How will that give joy to your boss at work? Can somebody answer that?
Can I try?
Yeah. You have the floor.
Okay. Good evening, house. I am Israel Abe. I'm sorry, I was just able to continue from now. I did not really start from the beginning because I just had time in our story. So I think from the first one that you explained, the CAC, that is the customer acquisition cost, if I'm
they call it
shooting
CAC.
correctly.
They call it
yes,
CAC.
The customer acquisition cost. So I feel like why a 5% shift will matter to CEO when it's regards to this customer acquisition cost. Let's imagine it's a 5% reduction in the cost of acquisition of customers. I think it's going to matter to this CEO because it's going to cut the amount of cost that he's going to actually use to acquire more customers. I don't know if I'm correct.
Yeah, you are correct. You're on the track. Definitely. That's what they want to see. They are less concerned about your SQL query, your Python script, or your Excel dashboard and the like. So far as it's not contributing to what matters to the business, it's zero. Even though you've suffered, you've debugged, you've done this. So let's list of concern to them. Who cares? Nobody cares. You get it. So that's what that entails. So now we can move on.
Sorry, I was able to hear you. Network's bad. I don't know if I'm the only one.
Oh, what
it's not just you.
Can we move on to the next task?
Yes, I have a question.
Just okay, go ahead with your question, please. I'm coming back to that 5% of a thing.
Okay. Though my question is centered around the 5%. So is it, the question says why a 5% shift matters to the CEO?
It's 5% in terms of increments or decrements in the KPIs.
Okay.
Do you get it?
Okay, sir.
Please, I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible now, but I think it's just going up on and off. It's going on and off. Like when you explained for the 5%, we didn't really hear, but now I think when this other guy was asking the question, we were able to hear.
You are trying to explain if it is increment or decrement.
Okay, what I mean by that 5% increment or thereabouts is that as in 5% shifts, I mean that how does those metrics that you are talking of, like CAC, like CLV, like ROI, conversion rates, name them like that, key metrics to the business, take note of that. It must be of a great importance to the business. How will it make your CEO to be happy? Imagine if your CAC reduced by 5%, it's a shift. When you're talking about shift, it might be increments or decrements. Anyhow, if it's in an increment of 5% in CAC, your CEO will not be as happy with you. But if it's the reverse, that is, if it's a decrement, you will be happy. Likewise, if your ROI, return on investment, increase, or your conversion rates through your RFM analysis increased, it will also give a joy to your CEO. Is that clear? So relate that shift with respect to the KPIs. How did they affect those KPIs? You get it, right? Does that answer your question, please?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Any other question, please?
Sorry, please, I don't understand what you mean by KPIs, please. Network was bad and I was not really following.
I too was not really following. I was just able to come in now.
When you're talking about KPI of a business, think of it like the metrics that a business measure, that a business determine its future with those metrics, whether they are performing well or not. Take, for instance, a metric in a school. Let's say somebody in a university. A student metric might turn around his GP or CGPA. That's okay. If I'm having, let's say, 4.5 in a school that they are using, let's say, 5 skill on a scale of 5-point stuff, the student might be saying that, okay, I'm doing well academically. And take, for instance, another student have like about 1.5 or 0 something thereabouts. Definitely, it's a metric that shows that student is an underperforming student in his faculty or in his department. Is that clear? There are those lifelines, there are those numbers that matters to the business, that whenever it goes up, it's as many, and whenever it comes down, it's as many to that specific business. Now coming back to e-commerce that we are analyzing there as in the data sets now. that will be analyzing the data set, I mean. What are those numbers that are very paramount to e-commerce business? You can research that and read more on it. So some of them are those ones that we've discussed earlier on, like all this CAC, all this CLV, conversion rates, and the likes. Does that answer your question, please, Chidera?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
All right. So let's move on to the analysis part of the work now. So now the task 2 of our today's task is moving around data cleaning. Data cleaning. And as we knew before, that data cleaning comes under what? Evaluating, as in using that our DDED framework. I mean, we are evaluating now. This is where we're evaluating. So data cleaning is very paramount to any business, as in any data task, whether you are using it for modeling, like all this ML, DL of a thing, or whether you are as in data engineering of a thing, or data analysis of a thing. We all share this part, irrespective of the data profession that in which you belong to, whether you are a data analyst, data scientist, data engineer, ML engineer, name it, any data feed or any data profession. You have to clean your data, because garbage in, garbage out, that's the rule. Whenever you have a bad data, that's a bad input. And you can't be expecting a good output from a bad input. A magic won't happen. So definitely you have to clean your data. And what are the ways in which we do use to clean data? There are many processes in which we do as in take. You can maybe probably tomorrow I will send you a cheat sheet for data cleaning. Part of them, I'll just name a few in order to save time, is to remove duplicates. Duplicate value, that is repetitive value. The same details in a row doesn't contribute anything. It's just a redundant information. Remove any duplicate value. Whenever you, as in, let's say you just open a data set, check for duplicate value, firstly remove those ones, because they are just like a weed in your data. They are there to just as in suck your analysis. Another step is to undo missing value. They are very critical. Handling of missing value. Missing values, think of it as empty value, no value. There are several ways of handling missing value. Probably you will see it tomorrow in the cheat sheet, but I'll just as in make some talk on it. You can undo a missing value by simply deleting it out, by just forgetting about it. You perform this method when you see that the amount of the data set or the amount of the missing value in your data set is less than 5%. Take note of this. Whenever it's greater or equals to 5%, think twice before removing it. Don't just remove as an insight, thinking that it's missing value. You get it. Whenever it's less than 5%, check the percentage of the missing value to those ones that are not missing value. Is that clear? Check it out. And in this our own analysis, it is stated there that you should check remove any duplicates. How will you remove a duplicate on Google Sheets? It's a task for you to do. But take note, you can simply Google that or watch a YouTube video on that. But it's a step that you must perform on any analysis. Handling missing value, you can handle a missing value by deleting it. Another way of handling missing value is imputation. Imputation. What they mean by imputation is just substitution, that is to substitute something in place of another thing, right? You can input, depending on how the data set looks like, you can input, let's say, if you are dealing specifically with a numerical data, I mean numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, think of it, decimal, integer, like that. You can simply input, let's say, the mean, that is the average. You can input the median, that is the one in between. And you can also, for these two, specifically for as in numerical data, but when you're dealing with categorical data, like let's say nominal data or ordinal data, you can simply input your mode, substituting those missing value with what? With mean, median, and mode. Each and every one of these as where we do use them. Are we clear? Are we together, please?
Yeah, not
Hello?
entirely.
Hey, I'm going deep dive, va? All right. No worries. We'll follow. We do undo missing value using what? Imputation by substituting the mean, the median, and mode. And I'm very sure very few of us still understand the concept of mean. We can prove me wrong. What does mean mean? I ask. Can any one of us take that challenge?
Average.
Average.
Okay, Mr. Said,
Okay.
can I say something?
Yeah. You're audible, please. You can go on, sir.
It's Isaiah. Okay, so
Yeah, my boss.
so
All right.
the mean, median, and mode are all averages,
Yeah.
guys. They are all averages. The three of them are averages, but the most common average is mean. So that's so I can understand why when he asked what was mean, so he automatically just called it the average. Of course, even in most statistical software like spreadsheets, when you see average, it is actually calculating the mean. So, but basically, we say mean is just
Okay.
the sum of the a particular set of numbers or values over the total number of those values. So that's just the formula for mean.
Why I said average is because on Google Sheet or on Excel, you won't find mean. It's average. That's why I said average is, if you check for mean, you won't find mean. You can find median, you can find mode. But average is what you will find if you're looking for mean.
Okay. So another method, I only discuss 3 here so that we'll round up the meeting and call it a day. Another thing is handling outlier. When they say outlier, that is somebody that is not in the group. Everybody is having 5, getting 5. Some are getting 4.5. Some, let's say 4.99. At least still in range of that 5. But you got, as in you got 100. You having 100 is an outlier. That is, you are not in the group. Is not in the group. Take for instance, you have a data set that comprise of the CEO salary, let's say the secretary salary, and also the gate man specifically, the another GM in the floor. You adding or finding the mean of these people's salary, definitely your data must be skewed, because this CEO salary, somebody that is collecting, let's say 10K dollars, compared to somebody that is collecting, let's say 500 dollars, and compared to somebody that is collecting, let's say about 100 dollars monthly, definitely this 10K dollars will skew the data. So that's an outlier. That is something that is what? That is outrageous. That is as an obviously not in position. So whenever you have an outlier in your data set, you have to be very cognizant of it, whether it's good or bad, because outliers sometimes might be a blessing to your analysis, and sometimes it might destroy your analysis. So you have to take cognizance of handling of outliers. So these are just some of data cleaning processes that we'll be discussing for today. And in the brief that I sent, we are using only 1 or 2 of them. Yeah, we are using 2. We are removing duplicates, and we're also removing null value, missing value. We are filtering for those revenue that are greater than 0, meaning those revenue that is less than 0 or 0 itself won't be included, right? We'll create another column for that. Please, is that tax 2 clear enough, or I should come again? Hello?
Please, come again. Please come again.
Please come again. Sorry.
The tax required of you is that we have transaction ID, we have visitor ID. For those of us that have gone through the data sets, we have visitor ID, we have transaction ID, and we have other matrices, right? Or other, let's say, other feeds or other columns. But the major column that is more of concern, and another thing there in this cleaning of missing value, is irrelevant data. Irrelevant data.
Why the revenue is the most important column?
Just use that filtering function to filter out those total revenue that are greater than 0. That is 1 upward, somebody that has bought something from our e-commerce before. Filter them, create another column for that, and from there, you submit your tax. This tax is closing by 2 p.m. unfailingly tomorrow.
Okay, I wanted to clarify because the data sets regarding
Okay.
the null values, the data set regarding the null values on revenue and the transaction ID duplicates. I went through this thing, but I didn't find any duplicates. I didn't find any zero revenue. So I don't know if it's on purpose or maybe it's the data.
Yeah, take notes, take notes. That's your finding. Write it down. It's part of as
Okay,
in what you will report tomorrow. That's okay.
okay,
This is what I've done, and this is the process I took, but I couldn't find anything. Another person in some way can also find something out of it. That's okay. There's some duplicates in the value as in the data set itself. That's all of those 6,000 plus as in entries. There's some repetition over there.
yeah, it's about
So
6,005 something. No
yeah,
problem.
The data set is quite huge. So, Oyedina, to be, you've been raising your hand. Please, can you unmute yourself, please?
Okay. Concerning submission, are
Yeah,
we submitting our findings alone or the clean data sets?
you are submitting for the tax one. You are submitting your understanding of the KPIs one. Then for the tax two, which you asked, you are submitting the data set itself, the cleaned data set. If you check as in the option over there, you see the clean data set and make it accessible, please. Whenever you're sending the link, make it accessible, as in grant me an access to view your data set so that I will know that, okay, this is really clean or not. Each and every submission carries as in mark. The leaderboard after tomorrow tax will be will be listed in the group. So you see the leaderboard, those ones that are doing fine, the comments and everything, because that's the main thing that we have to encourage ourselves on. Mentorship is very important. Not you just analyzing data without seeing somebody telling you that, okay, adjust this, do that, or do this, or that, like that. So it's very important. So let's simply as in stick to that. So I think we can call it a day from here today, right?
Can I ask the last question, please? Sorry.
All right.
Okay, so I
Have you
think yes, Abi, sorry. So when I saw this, the first line under that deliverable, sorry, I've not really checked most of the data sets. You say a one-page PDF file that is max 400 was weaves together the two tasks that we are supposed to perform. And from what you said the first one is our understanding, then you said the
Yeah,
second one is for us to submit the cleaned
data
sheets,
set.
either using Google Sheets or Excel. So
Excel.
what about this 400 words? Is is it the number one that is taking that 400 words, or we are supposed to use the 400 words PDF file to weave together both the first one and the second one?
Actually, let me just as in recap that. For the first one, for the first tax, write your as an understanding of those KPIs that are very important to the business in your own word. Maximum of 400 words. You can as in summarize it in 200 words, 100 words, 150 thereabouts. Convert it to PDF. Upload it to that first task as in first page. That upload button there in the submission file. I mean. Then
Okay.
the second one, if you are using Google Sheets, cleaning your data sets following that pattern that we just discussed. After cleaning it, the link to that Google Sheets, submit it I mean to the clean data sets, submit it to the second part of the of the form. Then if you are using Excel, if you clean your data sets using Excel finish, import that data set into Google Sheets, then convert it, or no need of that, just upload it to your drive, I mean your Google Drive, then grant me access, a viewer access to the link, then forward that link to, as in copy that link and paste it to the submission form. And I think that's got it right. Please, the submission
Yes.
time can you adjust 3 o'clock? I'm preparing for one exam. 3 o'clock. Oops. Who is that, please? Ilyas Abdurrahman. All right, Ilyas Abdurrahman. For that, 3 o'clock, do we all concur with him that we should
Yeah.
extend it to 3 o'clock or 2 p.m.
3 o'clock.
unfailingly?
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Yes, tomorrow is Saturday, and we'll be doing some house checks now. I think you should be extended.
Hmm. No problem. No problem. No problem. Let's
Better like 5, 6
yeah.
p.m.
You're having another tax tomorrow. Take notes. Let me be clear about this. Tomorrow we are entering MySQL, your clean data set. You are importing it, you are loading it to your MySQL. Take note of that. And from MySQL, we are doing our RFM analysis tomorrow. Next tomorrow, we'll be doing our wireframing and dashboarding. Then the 5th day, before you know, we are on live on GitHub. Our project is live on GitHub. So let's be cognizant of that, because if you are shifting that one, another tax is coming by 2 p.m. unfailingly tomorrow. Another brief. So let us, that's why it's a challenge. Oh Lord, yeah, it's a challenge. So you have to challenge the challenge so that the challenge won't challenge you. So we have to move in that faster rates. It's a marathon class.
I'm lost already.
Seriously,
I'm just joining today. I don't know. They are calling my SQL my this. I don't know.
Yeah. It might be somehow overwhelming in the first place. My SQL, I will explain the basic tomorrow. I just wish we, as in my network, I pray tomorrow it will be as very good. We'll come as early as possible to have some basic understanding of what all these tools entails. It's just another tool, another fancy name of calling where to save your data. A bit, as in, let's say you have a robust data. Just imagine. Yeah.
I'll need a mentor to guide me, sir.
No worries, you are here. We are here for you. Just as in, let us know in the group anything you are facing. Don't just keep moods thinking that nobody cares or something like that. That's why you are here, and that's why we too are here for the challenge. Post to the group as in anything you are facing through or anything you are going through, any problem. Our mentors are there.
Okay.
Take for instance the likes of
I have my
Mr.
system.
Isaiah is here for us. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. I have my system ready. What are the tools I need to get to start? Because I'm seeing you are telling us to do some tasks like that. I don't know how to start with.
Yeah, basically.
Yes, sir.
Whether you are joining lately, however, we are using basically 3 tools here. A spreadsheet tool, which can be
right?
Google Sheets or Excel, either of the two. One. The second one, that's good. The other one is MySQL. It's a database flavor. When we say database, that is where you store your data. MySQL, yeah.
I have XAMPP in my system. I don't know if that can.
That one cuts it. XAMPP majorly, as in basically, is used for all these developers like that. Or the MySQL there, the NGX, Apache, and the likes. Yeah.
Exactly. So am I going to get download it?
Yeah, I will send a guide. We've sent a guide already in the group, but I will send that tonight on how to install those tools with their tutorial videos, guidelines, step by step. For the MySQL part of the thing.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, and finally, you need Power BI. If you're a Windows user, Power BI won't be a stress. Just go to your Microsoft store, type Power BI desktop, and enter, then download it from there.
Okay,
yeah, Microsoft store. Power BI, BI, business intelligence, yeah.
Okay.
B for ball, I for I, yeah. Yeah. So it's a tool that we do use for visualizing data to see all what is going on for charts, for dashboarding, Instagram, circle, here and there, as in, Pi. So, and the likes.
All right, sir.
Yeah. You're highly welcome, sir. Help us drop the guide on the text to go again on the group tomorrow. Help us drop the guide on the text to go on the group. All right, no problem. I will refer that to the group. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate, because it's very rare to still stay awake by this time of the day, because every one of us are went to their job and everything, but just due to that passion of learning and passion of developing ourselves individually, I really appreciate that. So we'll be meeting tomorrow. Take notes. Tonight, I will still be forwarding, as in the guide to the installation of the apps and the likes, as in the softwares and the likes. And likewise, this itself, I will forward that to the group. So I think we can call it a night over here. Thank you so much for attending. See you guys.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much,
Okay.
Mr. Aside.
Talk.
Okay, you're highly welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Wow, 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 wow.
Wow.
Good night, Mr. Sai. Good night, sir.
Good night, everybody. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Log out.